So a lot of teachers think that this sound is inherently bad. Maybe it's this tea. This tea I'm about to spill over here. Yo, what's good, Tristan? So today we've got Courtney Hadwin, a 13-year-old golden buzzer winning performance on America's Got Talent. This video is making its rounds among the vocal coaching community, if there is such a thing. And per usual, whenever something popular comes up that involves some sort of a child, for some reason, there's tons and tons of negativity and concern trolling. But we're gonna get into that in a minute. First, we're gonna just check out this video and see what I think about it. Then we're gonna talk about her vocal technique and my disagreements with other vocal coaches on whether or not her technique is healthy. And I think that she's amazing. But before we get started, be sure you check out my website, youcansinganything.com. I am a vocal coach and I teach singing lessons online every single day through Skype. Also down in that description, links to my vlog channel, cover channel, and Patreon. On my Patreon, I do have a reward where I will review your singing in a video or through written format and help you improve. All that being said, here we go. Here's this 13-year-old who got some sort of golden buzzer winning performance on America's Got Talent. Let's check it out. Ooh. A little bit of boogie. All right.
Hey, you there, here I am, I'm the girl I wanna sing. Oh my God, and I can't give you what you want, but you got to come home with me. And I still got some good old loving and I got
it's certainly interesting.
when I get to throw it all, you got to come back for more. Oh, I see coming down the line, it doesn't, there ain't nothing I can't swallow. Pretty little thing, let my life check out, because mother, I'm so hard to handle now.
She's got a really big voice. It's almost Christina Aguilera-esque in some ways. Woo! Oh my God! All right, to me that was awesome, but let's do this. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's go into like, I'm a different kind of vocal coach, and I'm gonna show you exactly why that is in a second here. Let's go into what the comments of what I think is like sort of the mainstream response to this from the average vocal coach. Let's check out what they think. So I'm a part of a professional vocal group community, and so here's some of their comments. Frankly, it sounds painful. The sound is being produced with a lot of press at the laryngeal level and is probably creating a lot of irritation. I disagree with that. I think actually this is a fair comment. I disagree with it, and I'm gonna go into detail why I disagree with that in a minute here. This is a hot mess. This is definitely not what anyone should be doing. So much throat manipulation, straining, etc. This is a one-way ticket to destroying her voice. Again, I disagree. All of the comments are like this. Let's keep going. I think this is a product of what happens when you sell an image, personality, entertainment, etc. Vocally, I think the singing is damaging with too much push and strain. I think there are other ways to get her involved in the arts without putting a spectacle that will ruin her voice by the time she's done with puberty. Again, we'll address these all in my general comment here in a second. So kids don't listen to music on their own these days. This is a parent's idea, or the kid trying to please a parent. I think that's an unfounded statement, but bear with me. But now it has been packaged and sold. The parent should think, wow, my kid can get the style of this, maybe she can do this when she's older, but instead they think, let's capitalize on this. We as teachers need to educate the public, and the change should start right here in this group by not permitting parents to exploit their kids, even if they teach their kids. Let's make a real change and contribute to this. And I shouldn't respond to these. It's not productive to me, but sometimes I just get annoyed. And I say, can we make a rule not to accuse a child's parents of abuse and exploitation without any evidence? They say, I will point out child abuse when I see it. Anyone trying to silence an expert speaking up to protect a child is also part of the abuse system. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get the point. I think they take it way too far. And I can prove exactly why her vocal technique is healthy, in my opinion, with research and studies. So let's move forward. But first, let's just have a quick little example here of what healthy singing might sound like to some of these teachers. I guess that's the only way to sing. That's the healthiest possible way to sing. That's their perspective. That's what they do. That's fine. Y'all can have that opinion. You can cling to that as much as you want. But let's move forward with some actual evidence. So we can break her voice down. We can break her technique down into the different elements that it's composed of here. So she has that sort of gritty rock sound to it, and what that is a vocal effect called distortion. Now, what kind of amazes me is that it's 2018. Everyone has access to the internet. Everyone has access to the same level of information, but some people just don't do research and don't actually care to look into the information. But we know exactly how to produce distortion now. We know how it's produced. We used to think that it was dangerous, that it destroyed the voice. Today, we know that that's not true anymore. We know that it can be produced in a healthy way, and I can show it to you right here in actual research. So what we're going to be looking at here are the actual vocal folds, the voice vocal cords, and it's going to show you exactly what it is that's producing the distortion. So you can see right here, these are the vocal cords. You do not want to produce distortion at the vocal cord level, because that's what can potentially cause vocal damage, is because you're grating them against each other very, very harshly. You don't want that. What you want instead is there's a flap of tissue above the vocal cords called the false folds. Those two things you can grate against each other and cause no damage, because it's tissue that's meant to kind of do that. And as you can see, the distortion is not coming through at the vocal fold level, it's coming through at the false fold level. You don't see the vocal folds hitting each other aggressively, you see the false folds doing it. So, a lot of teachers think that this sound is inherently bad. It's inherently unhealthy, and it's just because they don't know how to do it. They don't understand it. I don't teach it because it's not something that I can personally do, so I don't feel comfortable teaching it, but I do know that it's possible to do it in a healthy way. And that's something that a lot of other teachers, I think, don't understand. They think that the way that they sing is the only possible healthy way to sing, and anything that, advances beyond that is it's bad for you. So the other element that they probably are concerned about is she's singing with a very big sound. You can bet so help me, or whatever. It's like a sort of a sound. And so that probably bothers them for some reason. Again, it goes back to this old idea that these bigger sounding things and more fuller sounding vocals are damaging in some way, especially when they're done by females, which is kind of weird, and especially when they're done by younger females. But this is something that we know isn't true. And again, we know this through actual research. So there are many different ways of dividing the voice into its various components and sounds. And one very popular school of thought in the scientific community today is the mode school of thought. That the voice can be divided up into little groups of sounds. And so the sound, the big hefty sound that she uses is called overdrive mode. And again, here's some research. Go ahead, you can check it out for yourself. I have a full PDF of this somewhere on my computer here. That's not the relevant part. If you want to check out the research on it, go ahead and check out the research. But we know this thing exists. We know that it can be done, and we know that it can be done healthily. And again, here's an example of what it looks like.
We'll walk the one, talk the talk, stay in the spirit of God's love.
So it certainly sounds very full, aggressive, and almost yelly, but here's the thing, is if you know how to do it properly, there's almost no risk of damaging yourself. And by the way, I know these things because I myself have been told, ever since I wanted to start learning how to sing, the things that I wanted to sing, pop music, whatever it was that I brought into my teachers, almost across the board, the teachers would tell me that that thing is impossible to do. You can't do it without damaging your voice, blah, 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 blah. At a certain point, I just said, screw it, I'm gonna try it anyway. And here I am today, 6-7 years later. The last time I went to an ENT, my voice checked out perfectly fine. I have no vocal issues whatsoever, and I sing all the ways that teachers always say are the wrong way, right? Most pop singing today is done the wrong way. Mostly because the teachers don't know how to do it, in my opinion. Especially healthily. Maybe a teacher can produce distortion, right? But they don't know how to do it without hurting themselves. I'm kind of an example of that. I can get it good sometimes when I'm really feeling it, but it's not something that I try to do very often because I know I don't know how to do it. And that's what I think that the professional vocal teaching community kind of lacks, is that self-awareness and that level of honesty to say, you know what? I don't know how to do that. I probably can't teach someone how to do that, but I'm not gonna judge them. I'm not gonna judge the kid. I'm not gonna judge their parents without sufficient evidence to make these accusations. Because in my opinion, in order to make an accusation that someone is abusing their child, which I think is ridiculous for a voice teacher to even suggest to begin with, but if we're gonna have that conversation, you need to talk to their doctor, you need to talk to their parents, you need to talk to the kid. Unless the kid's voice is hurting after they perform, unless she's going hoarse after she performs, unless the doctor is saying this kid is on her way to developing some serious damage, then you have no evidence whatsoever. All you have for evidence is, I don't know how to do that, so therefore she can't do it. Because there's plenty of evidences to show that it's completely possible to sing in that style in a healthy way. Every once in a while I get a comment that's something like, I can't believe you're a vocal coach if you sing like that. I can see what some people are saying. You're not 100% perfect. I can't believe you're a vocal coach. You guys don't realize the general standard and where the bar is for most vocal coaches and when it comes to singing. Most of them don't sing. They don't practice singing. They don't sing themselves. All they have are tons of opinions, and they've built themselves up in their own heads as being this expert on the voice because it makes them feel better about not being able to sing. That's just my opinion. That's my complete and utter opinion, but that's definitely true. So anyway, that's my opinion, and let's listen to the kid again real quick. And one last thing. So in order to make a diagnosis on whether or not she's hurting her voice, right, which would mean that her parents are abusing her, quote unquote, you would need to have medical training. Voice teachers don't have medical training. I'm sorry to break it to a lot of people out there, but voice teachers don't have real medical training. To be an actual medical doctor requires a license. It requires years and years of real schooling. And when was the last time that you were on Facebook and you saw a medical doctor giving a medical diagnosis to an otherwise healthy or normal looking child, right? And then accusing the parents of abusing the... That never happens. In the comments. Yeah, in the comments. That will never happen. That will never happen. So even if someone had all the qualifications to make such a diagnosis, it would never happen because an actual real qualified doctor knows that they can't make a diagnosis over the internet in a 1-minute video in the Facebook comments on Facebook. You just can't. You have to actually go in there. That's why doctors have x-rays. That's why doctors have cameras to stick down your throat to look at what's happening. That's why all these things exist. If you could just replace that doctor with some random expert teacher who doesn't sing, and they could just give the diagnosis over the internet in a 1-minute video, you wouldn't need doctors. But anyway, I'm gonna calm down now. I'm gonna drink some of my tea. Be sure I don't spill it all here. Anyway, be sure you check out my website, youcansayanything.com. I am a vocal coach. I teach singing lessons online every single day through Skype. Also down in that description, again, links to my vlog channel, cover channel, and Patreon. Also a link to my Discord. Come and check out my Discord. It's rad over there. All right, anyway, until next time, Tristans, peace out.